Final Fantasy XIV looks bland and dull, and I feel like it takes away a lot from the game and the art style on what it's trying to present. And I got this idea of talking about this from different type of people in Final Fantasy or outside of Final Fantasy. And there's a reason why the game looked this bad and why their opinions of those people are valid. It's because the game has a filter that is honestly really bad, and it makes the coloring, the lighting, and the detail of the game less popish than it should be. So right now I am in the normal filter of Final Fantasy XIV. You don't need any shader to really do this test at all. And I want to mention a few things here already. So the coloring, all the green or bright colors, yellow too right here, are not popping out as much as it should. The dark atmosphere of nighttime in Old Shoreland right now, which is one of my favorite places in Final Fantasy XIV, and how it looks, are just not as much popping as it should be. They're bright colors. Why is that the case? And then the lighting itself, right here, there's lighting 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 here, and it feels very down. It feels like it's not bright enough or doesn't have as much detail as it should. And moving on to detail, well, you could see that there's supposed to be a bunch of detail right here, or also right here. And it's not popping. And the reason for that is because Final Fantasy XIV has a gray filter that blocks a lot of that coloring. So if we change it to bright 1, you're going to instantly see the difference of the game and how it's negative impacting the graphics and also art style of the game. All the colors or all the problems I mentioned off of Final Fantasy XIV is completely changed by changing the filter to bright 1. The colors are a lot more bright, vibrant, less saturated, or held around. I might be wrong on how I use that word. The lighting looks so much more exposed, especially on the statue, on the Aephorite, even right here, even like nighttime. Look at all of this. It looks so good, and you could see the details a lot more around the building. Like you could see how much dirt this have, and this is before Final Fantasy XIV is going to have the graphical update in 7.0. One simple change of the filter makes Final Fantasy XIV pop like how it should be. And this is just one area. There are 3 more areas that I want to show that honestly you could see a drastic difference of what I am talking about. So let's go to the second one. The second area that I am going to mention is in Stormblood. It's a dungeon called the Drowned City of Sakla, and I want you to pay attention to the atmosphere coloring and also the lighting of the area. So I'm going to be quiet for around like 5 to 8 seconds so you could ideally absorb how it looks ideally. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so what we see here is a major difference of how the atmosphere of the whole area looks. It's not gray. It's not supposed to be gray at all. It's supposed to be green, like a very light green area. And then the lighting are not supposed to be this dim at all. They're supposed to be slight pops in certain areas, like right here, so the purple plants could really show on certain places, or pop the plants just in general. But since we have this filter, you don't notice that right away. It's so goddamn shitty. I will say even makes like the water, because water looks better because of how the whole area look with the greenish of filter. I think it really matches well with the water in my opinion. But without the green, the water just looks it looks bland. Like it feels like everything is together, and I think that goddamn sucks, my opinion. Now let's go to the third area. The third area is going to be one of the starting cities of the game, New Gardenia, and I want to go through my whole process on each of the filters and what I feel between it. So I think this looks like a forest. It looks like a place that is supposed to be live and vivid with all the green area, and I do get that, but I feel like that it should show more that it's supposed to be bright, especially if there is a like beaming sun coming down at me. Like I feel like the color should just be expressive more. So with the filter, I get that feeling. I think that it's a little too bright, but I 100% believe that it's better than the normal gray filter in it, because I get the feeling that I am in a forest that is being bathed by the sun, and I think that's just really cool. I feel like the immersion is a lot more better. I think the style of the game is being popped 5 times more compared to the bright filter. The only complaint I have with this is be a little less bright than it is right now, but this is again supposed to just be an example of it. So let's go to the fourth and the final area, and I think is the most drastic change between the two filters. The last area that I want to talk about in this game is probably one of the most pretty area in the whole game, I would say, even with the filter, and that is the Eden raid series. And it's honestly one of the most gorgeous place in the game. It looks really nice even with the filter on. It looks really good until we have the filter on, and you will see the drastic difference between the two. And I have to say, it's really upsetting when you see this. So let's ready on bright filter, and let's look around. The first up here. Now let's turn, and this is how Eden looks with the bright filter. It looks so goddamn gorgeous, and I wish the game looked like this consistently. And the criticism of people saying that the game doesn't look good at all, I think is a fair thing, is that filter, the normal one in the game, completely ruin gorgeous areas like this one and the other areas I mentioned before. You could really appreciate how the art style that they're trying to go through without that filter. The normal look of Final Fantasy XIV is so depressing compared to this. And I realize that they have taken out or dialed down a little bit of the filter in 7.0 when they were showcasing in the videos of the graphical changes. And I hope that's not only for the showcase, but through the whole game and for everyone. Because if the game looked like this 24/7, I think this game will be 5 times better. And 7.0, this is going to look phenomenal, because the grass will be more filled too with the new grass gen they are doing. Dude, I am amazed on how this looks, and also kind of depressed. But that's pretty much all I want to talk about this whole video, and talking about the graphics of Final Fantasy XIV and how it looks, and the real reason why it's bad. It's because of that filter. So I hope all of you have a wonderful day, and see ya.